Hey, what's good, everybody? Hope you guys are well. I had this crazy dream last night, and I wanted to make a video about it. So I'm even thinking I might just make a new playlist called like my journal or my spiritual journal and I'll add some of the last videos I did on there. Um, so yeah, I had this crazy dream yesterday, and I thought I'd share it because I don't know why not. So in the dream, well, yeah, in the title, that's why I named this Jesus Take the Wheel. So basically what happened was like so I had a dream, right? There was a lot of parts to it, but it was like one of them, it's like I was driving, right? And my brother, the one that passed away, he was in there with somebody, then my other brother. And it kind of reminded me like before, I haven't drank like in 7 years, maybe more. I don't know how long it's been now. But sometimes I would drive them places, right? Like even not too long ago, my other brother with my nephew. I drove them. They paid me to drive them somewhere because they were going somewhere. And then after, when they got off, I went to go pick them up rather than pay like a cab or something. So I was like, yeah, whatever. I went and so I used to do that before, right? Like, obviously, like better than them get a DUI or something. So I would drive them, and which I would have done for free, but they would always be like, hey, we'll pay you to do this, whatever. So, anyways, um, So, in the dream it was like I was taking them, but I don't know if they were going with me somewhere or what was the deal, if I was just taking them. But I was driving good, everything was good. Then out of nowhere, um, I start kind of bumping into things, crashing, this and that. Finally I'm getting on this on ramp of the freeway or something, and then it's like I crash, and then I try to go in reverse, I crash again, something. I finally I just get mad, I'm like, I get out the car and I tell my brother, the one that passed away, I tell him to drive. I'm like, you know what, you drive. I don't dare. Fine, you drive. And it's crazy. Then the dream goes into other things, but I'll first talk about that. It was funny because it reminded me when I was awake, already driving and stuff today. Uh, it made me think about that, like the whole Jesus take the wheel, like that. Um, but for me, it's my brother, right? And the funny thing is, like one of I think the very first dream I had when he passed away, when they took me to him, and it was basically what people consider, now I've been shown like it's the higher beings, whatever. I think people before, angels is just means messenger. The translation of the word angel just means messenger, right? And it's funny because even him, when he was, you know when he was here, like people would sometimes mispronounce our last name, and they would call him Angelo, right? Which sounds like angel, right? I think that is probably the word in Latin or something, like angelos or something. I don't know, but it'd be funny because now he is like my guardian angel, right? Like so the very first dream I had when he passed away was, this well, the higher being, like she took me to where he was, and it was like he was getting ready for a war, right? Like he was like it looked like all like this military stuff going on behind the scenes, right? Like like they were preparing for war. I made me thinking like spiritual warfare, all this stuff, right? But they were preparing for a war. And then after, I kept dreaming of him throughout time. And then even on one of them, sometime last year, I think, or even before that, I don't remember when, but he was like, I'm gonna help you. So because at first they were like, oh, when someone passes away, you gotta let them go, this and that. And I did. I was like, you know what, go ahead, I'm good. But then after, I think he decided to, I guess he took on the responsibility. And it was crazy because I remember people were having dreams that it was like I'd be walking and it's like all these things were like trying to get me, but I was like in this little protective bubble, right? And different people had this dream. And then I did start going through a lot of spiritual things. So it was warning me that something was, I guess the more good you try to do, obviously, right? And like now I'm trying to spread awareness of like the spiritual, and through my life I've had periods where I did that, and then yeah, of course things attack you, and I've always been aware of that. um and the more, I guess, as things are getting more critical spiritually, and like I just saw a video of one of the people that I had interviewed, Ona Christie. um she made a video talking about how it's getting, like basically now, if you're the window's getting smaller, and I had made a video about that, about the window getting smaller, but she talked about it in a more personal setting, like if you haven't chosen the certain path, like to change directions later, it's gonna be way harder, right? So like now, if you're not kind of on a certain path, I don't want to say good path. At the end of the day, I feel like, whatever you signed up for, if that's gonna be your experience to just go through a whole lot of chaos, then so be it. You made the choice, right? I don't know. I don't know what your contract is like on the spirit world, right? But for me, I was almost happy to like hear that, to say like, oh, okay, like I've been getting all these signs. Like I feel like I'm heading in the right way, and especially I've had all these dreams of like this beautiful places and paradise and all this stuff. So, and it's somehow I was leading people. I mean, actually, pretty much all of them that I was having, it was like I was leading people. So maybe that is kind of like the work I'm doing, right? Even if it may be a little bit of people and this and that, like, but it was like I was leading some kind of group towards something good, right? And so I guess that, right, like, so all these things were attacking me, and people had been dreaming that. So see now, like my brother, I guess now it kind of clicked. I was like, oh wow, like the war he was preparing for was probably like to be like my guardian angel or something, pretty interesting. So especially that after first it was like he was like preparing all this military kind of stuff, like he was getting ready for war. Then in one of the dreams he said he was gonna help me, and then he has after that, like time and time again. There were times where he was upset because something I was doing, and he was like, and even before I could hear his voice, because at first when they cross, you're talking telepathically, because you probably haven't reached like you're not. But then once I reached, like I kept, I guess, walking a spiritual path. I guess then I was able to be where they're at, and I could hear like we actually were talking like voices and stuff, right? So then it wasn't just telepathic, or it was different, right? Um so anyways, he became kind of like my guardian angel. I know it's a long thing, like I said, it's gonna be more like a journal. I'll make these videos, but anyways, so yeah, now it was like almost like how people. Oh yeah, so this is okay. This is another thing that was important that happened. So even once, like I remember before when I was younger, obviously I was around a lot of like the churches and this and that. So sometimes when things were attacking me, like while I was asleep, I would feel things choking me, or trying to, not all the time, but every once in a while. And I remember even sometimes where I was trying to break free, and finally, I'd be like I'd call out to Jesus, and boom, it would work, So I would, which was even strange to me because I never prayed to Jesus. I always prayed to God. But hey, I guess spiritually it works. So I did that, and then it was funny because after my brother passed, there was one day that something was grabbing me. I felt it. I was like in that, they call it sleep paralysis, but the interview I did, I had something because I was eating right now. The interview I did with Aquarius Maxima, she talks about how things would, she's real sensitive. She's basically, she has the gifts and everything, right? So she's like medium, psychic, all that stuff. So, and I always tell people, like, when you could see them, they could see you, kind of thing. So, that's kind of like the world I live in too, right? And so, I guess she said how they would always be trying to pull her, like they were trying to take her back to the spirit world. So that's kind of what it felt like. Something was trying to take me or pull me, and then I yelled out to my brother, and boom, I was able to, like, I woke up instantly, right? I yelled out his name like really loud, well, his name like Miguel, right? So I'm like, Miguel, and so boom, I woke up as soon as I did that, right? And even that, I think about it, it's funny. It's almost like, I don't know, I won't get into that, but whatever. So I yelled out his name, and boom, I instantly woke up, right? So it's like he's become like my guardian, and all this stuff. So that's what it reminded me, like, I guess it's similar, the way people will call out to Jesus, like that's what my brother, the role he fits now, as far as like helping me, and so yeah, it's good, like I guess, and also to don't be afraid, like your family members could be helping you. Like I know, like I'm not, so no offense to anybody that follows the certain religions and stuff. You could do what you want, but this is obviously, I'm not a religious person in that sense, right? And so anyways, that's what it was. So it reminded me of the Jesus Take the Wheel, but my brother helping me, and it's a beautiful thing. Like I'm really happy to know that. Oh yeah, even in one of the dreams that I led, like people to this paradise place, my brother came to greet us, right? He was on this horse, and it was the most beautiful place. Like people with near, that's why it's crazy. I want to interview someone with a near death experience, because a lot of the things that I've been dreaming, they sound like the things they have when, they have the near death experience, Like your words can't describe the beauty of these places, right? It's just too beautiful for human words to try to, like, even the water, like the perfectness of the water is like, you just can't describe it, right? Or the green of the, the trees and everything. It's too beautiful. It's too perfect for you to try to describe. Even once where I was in a rainforest and they told me welcome home. Like I was living in a tree, and when I got there, they told me welcome home. My brother was there too. So there's all these dreams. But when you wake up, it's like they feel like real experiences. So it's not, you guys understand. You understand. I don't need to sugarcoat it. Actually, I'm trying to be sensitive to people that might not grasp what I'm talking about, but if you don't get it, you will eventually. I don't know. Watch some of the older videos, and maybe you need to kind of work your way up, right, to understand what I'm talking about. But anyway, so that's what it was, right? It was like Jesus take the wheel kind of thing. And then something else funny happened in the dream after, right? It was a continuation. I was going to do a show. I haven't performed in a long time, years, even pre-pandemic, like years, right? I haven't performed. And it was crazy. So I guess that was after we were driving. I let my brother drive. And then I remember, because, with like, there was even other people that I knew. They were going to perform. And so they invited me to perform with them. It was like all these people. I guess I don't know if they had like a record label or what, but it was like all these different artists. So it was some kind of event, right? Which I've done a lot of times. I always did like, we did like charity events, or we did like, even like for political campaigns to get the money for, certain candidates or different things like that, right? Where I performed. So it kind of seems something like that. And there was, I remember I was going to do 2 songs that I remember, and one of them was going to be the one for my brother, but I was like, oh, wait, but he's alive after all. I was trying to figure it out in the dream. I was like, well, I can't do that song because he's alive. And I was like, but I was happy. I was like, well, damn, that's good, But okay, now I got to think of another song. Like, what song do I do instead? Because the song that I did for him, I couldn't do it anymore because he's alive, So that was a good dream, actually. But, and then there was a kid, like a younger guy, that he was going to perform. I guess he got nervous and he threw up on me. And I was like, oh my God. And like, in the dream, I was like, oh, dude. And then so whatever, I had to go to the bathroom, and then he followed me too. I gave him like I was going to give him a towel, but I'm using the towel. I gave him that paper. He was like, here, clean yourself. And then I was wiping, like I had the whole thing of throw up. But I wasn't mad at him. I was just like, I was trying to calm him down. Like, hey, dude, you're going to be good. Don't worry about it. Like, we're all right there. You're good, So it was cool of that, like trying to, and maybe this, like how I just said, that's funny that I just mentioned that about, like, if I know the spiritual stuff could be overwhelming. You know what I mean? Just take baby steps. Like, if you don't get it, it could be too much, like for some people. But I think you're gonna, like, I think it's just gonna keep getting, the veil keeps dropping and dropping. I think more and more people are gonna, at this point, like, if you chose to be in denial, like, it's gonna be, it's funny because I don't want to get into the whole religious thing, right? Yeah, maybe I won't on this one. I'll make another video about it, but this one I'll just keep it like this. Keep it to this this talk, right? But just that, like, I think as things progress, it's gonna get harder, right? That's why, like, for me, I relate that to the mental illness and everything. So many things happening that your mind is trying to grasp and it can't. And that's why, it goes really deep. Like, to me, it's not a conspiracy because you see it, right? But it's easy for, in the physical sense, for anybody to. I remember, like, once I went to this thing and it was like they showed how all those mental institutions, all that stuff that they had done, even like the shock therapy, how none of that ever cured anybody. Never, no record of anyone ever being cured from all these mental institutions and all this stuff that they did, right? Uh, it was just like torture, really, to be putting these people on, the hardcore psychiatric medicines, like, and doing shock therapy and all that crazy stuff they were doing. It was just all torture, really, and so that, like, that's why I always choose to hit it from a spiritual angle. But yeah, I'll just end it there because this is way longer, like the other one than I thought. But like I said, it's more like a journal. But I just thought it was funny, right? Like, I guess my brother is my guardian now, that's helping me, and I love it. It's a beautiful thing, and all those experiences that I've had that they've just been interesting, right? And then I'll get into another video talking about certain things. I'll break it down. Even if it makes people uncomfortable, like I said, it's gonna get harder. Like, as time is progressing, it's gonna keep getting harder. It's like if you choose to stay in a bubble. I think I used that example before about like something else, like if someone's house is burning down next door and you try to stay inside your house and you're like, okay, I'm not looking at the fire, it's not really happening, or you try to act like just because if you don't look at it, you won't manifest it, or you won't this or that, and then all of a sudden the fire spreads to your house, right? So the spiritual thing, it doesn't matter if you want to, it's prepared. Like anything with spiritual, even for people that that use the Bible as reference, it's all like about telling you to prepare for this and that. Like, it's all an instruction manual to have you prepare. So it's all about preparing anyway. So whatever, blah blah blah. So thanks for watching. If you watched this far, and yeah, no, it's just an interesting dream. Oh yeah, so this is real quick, and then that's it. So I went back for some reason. I was looking through my old, like, I put all my dreams on a calendar, and so I realized like so many I couldn't make out because I would just put one word or something, like, oh, like, even I saw some of my brother and I just put, like I said, his name's Miguel, so I put Miguel Dream, and then I don't remember which ones. Like, I remember kind of all the dreams I've had of him, but I didn't remember when, like, because I have the dates and everything. So, I am going to start writing them down. And even that, like, I had done the lost videos, and they helped me remember dreams. I didn't even remember that I had like, how I said, like, for him to take the wheel, like I told my brother to drive. I found in one of the lost videos that I posted that I had actually had another dream where the car was driving by itself and I was trying to stop, and I guess I said in that video how I'm even trying to brake with my hands and the car wouldn't stop, but I was safe. It was just kind of like basically the universe taking over and like taking me. And I had a dream like that earlier this year or last year that I know I wrote down, and the same, it was like the car was moving super slow, but it was going, and then I was even like, oh man, I'm gonna hit something, but no, it just went, and I was safe the whole way through. And it was before I started the podcast. And after, like, even the podcast, right, it's gone very slowly for me. Like, I'm used to doing things like because when I'm in control, I kind of just go all in, right? But with the podcast, it's been like since I've had to interview people or just the growth of it, like, I seem very slow, but it's like I really think that dream had to do with that, like me doing what I'm doing right now. They were showing me before I even started, before I even got the idea for the podcast, that I was on this journey and the car was going and I couldn't stop it, but it was steadily going, right? It was just like going. And then finally it stopped by itself and I was safe. Like, I didn't hit nothing, I did nothing, but it was just showing me like kind of the spirit world's taking me and I just got to be along for the ride. And I think that's what's happening right now, like with my brother. Maybe I've been getting impatient lately. I think maybe that's what it is. And see, I've even crashed here, crashed there. But they're like, so then, see, it's almost like don't get in your own way, right? Like don't be your own enemy. Like you could be your worst enemy. Don't get impatient. Don't this and that. Just like, hey, just go with it. Just go with the flow. You can do only so much, but then after, once you start crashing here, crashing there, and you get frustrated, trust in the divine, trust in the universe to guide you and take you as long as you're walking that path, right? So I know I said a lot in this video. Yeah, if you like it, subscribe, all that stuff. Like, I might as well keep saying that now because, like I said, I'm trying to, grow the channel and everything. So, yeah, hope you guys are well. Yeah, share any experience you want with me in the comments. I always read the comments. Even if it takes me a while to respond or whatever, but I'll read them. So, all right, thanks. Hope you guys are well. Peace.
I seen Lorraine, she was walking down the street and had a third teardrop rolling down her cheek. She once was a good girl, now she all upset. I begging people just to get a hit, story told. It's old, yeah, it's way too common. See too many people turn into that dope with problems to dodge them, but they don't go away. And slowly day by day, yeah, they start to fade away. Just staring through that hourglass, wasting precious time. It's stuck in the suspension of lives. You can quit when you want to and do it cause you want to, and time still denying that it had you. See, this is all I ask, just listen. You can choose to pass or relax, but just listen. The cost of admission is free, but there's a fee. You gotta tell the rain story, tell the rain story. Rain, where could she be? I seen her walking down the street, dirty ass can be. She once was a good girl, now she all upset and begging people just to get a hit. Rain, where could she be? I seen her walking down the street, dirty ass can be. She once was a beauty queen, now she all upset and begging people just to get a hit. She used to do the mess around and thought it would last. Now knowing beauty skin deep in that their past. Man, she fooled around with few friends, made a play on brothers, trying to take the love from each other. She thought she could. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, sometimes you just feeling it, you know what I'm saying? You just feeling it. And I wanna feel this way forever.